Hi everyone, welcome back to Kumara Sutra. Today we will talk about a slightly sensitive topic, but I am going to eradicate the politicalness out of it. And this is about E20 fuels and why these things are being mandated. In context, I am going to cover the trajectory of E20 to E25 to E50 to E100, whatever that scheme is coming in. See, the problem over here, people try to link it to sugarcane industry and all that, and I have absolutely nothing against the union minister, and essentially I have always propagated that nepotism in its essence is not bad. It is just portrayed as bad, but yeah. Let's come to the primary issue. From 2020, so the whole world was struggling the problem of COVID. But 2021, 22, 23, 24, the automobile sales did not expand. They were essentially contracting the year-to-year growth and everywhere, especially in the small segments. That's a different thing that luxury segment like Rolls-Royce and Mercedes, these guys were going like hot cakes and hot potatoes. But the segments like mid-scale sedan segments or SUV segments, and even very small segments like Alto, these guys were suffering. And now they understood one thing, that an Indian middle class or anybody who is buying a car, be it for commercial or residential personal purposes, buys a car for a time frame of 5-10 years at least. So that United States pattern that we will buy a car for 1-2 years and then just scrap it out or these things, that doesn't happen in India. It actually doesn't happen so much in the US also, as much as it is shared, but it reflects to one thing, that automobile industry makers and drivers, they have understood very well that we need some system of planned obsolescence, just like phones. Have you seen an iPhone? After 6 to 9 months, for 5 to 10% of its selected user, selected is the word because you will never know those global user IDs and how it linked and how their volumes would reduce. So if you cannot play around with battery to frustrate a user into buying a new device because the repair cost would be higher or whatever, there are multiple ways. So few things that people have documented are mobile like battery issues, unnecessary vibrations and all that. I'm also revealing a few other things which other research papers do not talk about, which are like selectively volumes will start dropping, your phone will overheating is very known issue, but yes, now the companies do this very smartly. They don't reveal it for a larger population, because otherwise the JNI, just noticeable difference, if you do it more than that, people would start noticing that, and it opens up them to liability claims. Automobile industry has figured out that we need planned obsolescence in cars, which is why all these new cars, so the original agenda was to force a middle class buyer, because very well anybody who has studied the basic reports or even first year of engineering, or even for that matter basic physics and corrosion that you understand, ethanol blended ethanol is not that efficient around imparting the residual heat, and it is hygroscopic, so it will release a lot of water, and those things will corrode those components. So to force the middle class consumer to buy a new car which is led with so many softwares, ODB3 and ODB2 and all these sensors and all these actuator and controller systems which are not only that is to jump up the sales, as we saw in 2024 and 25. After the E20 was mandated by force, we saw a larger chunk of sales increasing. That was just a bump, but now you can expect for the next that every car model that you see would be only effective or actually operatable for 2 to 3 or 5 years at the max, 2-3 years. I sincerely pray they don't get that greedy that the model just stops working or starts paining you after 1 year. We need to be prepared about that, because all cars, see, there's a limit of mobility that an individual customer has, and also car becomes a very good interception device, just like a phone. What I'm more scared about is software induced critical bugs that happen during a critical part of the journey. Say you are speeding on highway at 70 to 80, or you are in a mountainous region, or somewhere where this vulnerable. I really pray they don't introduce defects which threaten the human life, because that is a bigger danger. See, yes, every 2-3 years spending 20, 30, 50 lakh rupees for a car, because now the cars are expensive. Even a small hatchback like I-20, these things, they come at around what, 10, 15, 20 lakhs. So if you are buying a minimum thing for 10, 20, 30 lakhs, that every 2-3 years spending 20, 30 lakhs is going to be a big burden on it, like wallet. Just like United States, I see more larger chunk of Indians getting into debt traps. That is for sure. Already it is happening. I'm not cooking these stories up. So the trend analysis is that your cars are, the new cars, especially bought after 2025, would be good only until 2030 at the max. If you are a very judicious customer, say I'm like. And over the years you will start seeing these droppages until and unless people make a big claim out of it. And what I'm saying is, not all entire user base will not suffer those problems, because they will be very selected only to a just a suitable fraction, so that people don't get alarmed by it and start filing cases. That is going to come up. I hope, I'm not sure how far YouTube will popularize this video about me, but I hope my regular audience and the people who I'm supposed to benefit would understand this content and would prepare around. Because bickering and what do you say, putting the government on the spot would not help. Obviously those in the present scenario it will have adverse consequences, but you need to now prepare on your end. I hope this helps. Please like the video, share and subscribe to this channel.